Hello everybody and welcome to Dharma Punk Seattle. Today we're going to be doing a bit of an intention setting ceremony for the new year. The format today will be a little bit different. I'd really like to spend more time allowing for group activity, group intention setting versus me talking. So I'll give a shorter talk and maybe a little bit of a shorter meditation, so that way we all have time to come up and say something, set our intentions. Has there been anybody who's not done an intention setting ceremony before? Okay, cool, good to know. So this is a common practice in our community. My teacher does one every year, and the purpose of it should be pretty straightforward: to set an intention for the new year, right? But in terms of the practice, this is really trying to stay grounded in how can we set an intention that supports our practice. And I thought it sort of dovetailed really well with, so we've been going through the 10 subjects for frequent recollection. We're on the 10th and final one as well. So that subject is: has my practice borne fruit with freedom or insight, so that at the end of my life, I need not feel ashamed when questioned by my spiritual companions? So that's the long thing. The maybe easier thing is, can I look at my life unflinchingly? Can I say, was it okay, fam? To, at the end of my life, and my friends would be like, yeah, you good. So, and taking this sort of perspective with trying to frame our intentions. If I look back at my year, can I look back at it unflinchingly? Are there things that happened in this past year that I can only, I can't control the outside, so I can't set an intention that I want this person to act differently, right? But in my own behavior, in my own practice, were there things that I wished I would have done a little bit better? And we all have those places. So, this isn't a time to sort of tear out our hair and beat ourselves up, but to see where were those places in our practice that maybe could just use a little bit of polish, that could use a little strength, and use that as the momentum for setting our intentions. In the Eightfold Path, the wise intention is the second of the Eightfold. So taking the inventory of the year is a really important aspect to develop the understanding, wise understanding, the first of the Eightfold Path, right? And to better have intention. So what does that mean exactly? When we better understand the way that we showed up in a year, the more that we are able to reflect on what places did I fall short, the better we can set an intention, right? Because our intentions depend on our understanding, right? They say that old phrase, the road to hell was paved with good intentions. Well, that's probably because there was no wise understanding underneath it. You could have all the fucking good intentions in the world, but if there's no wise understanding, it doesn't matter. And so where wise intention becomes important is it's sort of the bridge from understanding to our actions, which is karma. Our intentions are if this is going to be a bit of a crude analogy, but if the intention is like the gun, and the bullet that flies from it is the action, right? And so we got to make sure that we are in a place where we actually understand the karma that we're creating, right? Understanding will help us develop our intentions and the karma that we create for the next year. How these things normally go is that they will light a candle and each person can come up and say what intention they are setting, and and just talk a little bit about like, what was this year like for you, and why is this intention important? You know, if from your current understanding of this past year, what just needs polish? I think one of the things when it comes to our intentions is that, and why so many people who go and do New Year's resolutions and they fail and we give up, right? Like that, I think that was a big reason why I personally hated New Year's and New Year's resolutions for so long, was because it was like, well, I keep setting these goals, and then they never fucking go anywhere. Like I just let myself down. And so trying to pick things that are achievable, and also understanding that, it's part of the practice to maybe have that moment of inspiration where we are really fucking jazzed and we really want to put our all into something, but that's not permanent. Inspiration isn't a permanent state. So there's going to be a ride of inspiration, and then it's going to recede. And what do we do when our inspiration recedes? Do we abandon our intentions? Do we say, well, I'm not fucking good enough, so why try? So going at it with that commitment of, even when my inspiration recedes, I'm still gonna carry you. Even when I don't have the energy, I don't have the capacity, when I'm falling apart, I'm holding this intention because it matters, and finding ways to remind myself that this intention still matters. And choosing stuff that is, I think, just in general achievable. If I'm seeing clients and they're like, I just want my relationship to be better, that's not an achievable goal, because there's going to be lots of little pieces there that will make the relationship better, right? So we have to figure out, okay, what's the problem? How do we adjust communication styles? All of these other little things that we have to do before we have happiness in the relationship. So we need to also look at okay, what is our intention? Is that achievable this year? And do I need to break it down into something smaller that is more realistic for ourselves, so that way when we get to the end of the year, we're not hopeless, useless, now I'm a nihilist. So if you're, say that your goal is to, achieve happiness this year. Okay, that does seem like a rather achievable goal, but what is the thing that you're going to do that will help stimulate some happiness in your life, right? What brings you joy? Does that mean I have to, do a specific thing? My mind always wants to go pretty hypervigilant and be I gotta do it every day. And it's okay, can you actually do that every day? Can you maybe say once a month? Is that maybe the more realistic, steady, when we talk about going against the stream, that against the stream analogy, they talk about you can't swim up the center of the stream. It takes a steady and persistent effort, that we go from side to side, swimming up the stream of greed, hatred, and delusion. And so that being one way that we make it achievable is when we're looking at the time frame, how is it something that we can actually do? And I really think that this is important because ultimately all of wise understanding, all of wise intention is for the aim of eradicating greed, hatred, and delusion, right? So if we're setting intentions toward that aim and we're having these crazy expectations of ourselves that, like, I'm gonna work out every single day, you're setting yourself up for hatred. And that's not, hopefully what we want to accrue more of. We want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up with metta and loving kindness. So, I'll leave that there. One of the other things, I'll lead a meditation. We'll do some intention setting ceremony, and one of the things that we'll do after that is maybe a little bit unique to those who have done an intention setting ceremony is to create an intention for the Sangha. I think so much of our practice, especially in the West, we can become incredibly self-centered. It's pretty easy just to focus on, well, what is my practice? Like, how do I get better? And as I was reflecting on, how this format should go, how we should go about it, I thought maybe a good juxtapose to that would be for all of us to set an intention for the Sangha, and for one person to anonymously write on and anonymously pick. So that way you have your own intention that you've created, but you also have the wish of somebody else in the Sangha. Does that make sense?
Can you provide an example?
So, thank you. So say I write this intention down, and we all write an intention down for something that we would just like to see in the Sangha. This could be something that's very personal. This is something I really want in the Sangha. This could be just I really want maybe one particular person and just hope they get it, right? But not in a weird fucking advicey way. I really want John to be less of a dick, and I hope he gets this one, right? Not like that, but just I hope that you let go more. I hope that you are more generous. I hope that you become curious. Things like that you would like to see happen more in the Sangha. And we'll anonymously put them in a hat. There's no hat, so it'll be a meditation bowl. That makes more sense. And draw one to take into the year. Does that make sense? Does that make more sense? Okay. Cool. All right. Any question? I'll do questions now. If anybody has any questions about wise intention setting before we slip into meditation.
If you just closely unprepared, it doesn't.
Cool. Perfect. That's the best way to be. Try not to think about it the entire meditation. Yeah.
Maybe a little hard to set. I've been here 10 minutes, so I don't know any of you yet. So
Yeah. And so it can be more generic, if maybe even thinking about things from previous communities that you would have liked to have seen. People, like, what do you want in your life more from people in general? Do you want more honesty? Do you want more generosity? Do you want more curiosity? Stuff like that.
Sometimes the fresh eyes see most clearly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. You might have the most real take than all of us. All right, let's meditate. Finding a comfortable way to sit that is upright. On your next exhale, letting the shoulders fall away from the ears. Letting the belly relax. Unclenching the jaw and the tongue relaxing. Relaxing the muscles around the eyes. Finding your breath wherever it comes and goes most easily, either at the nostrils, base of nostrils, or the rise and fall of the belly or chest. Reminding yourself that staying with the breath is a gathering the mind toward an object. Breathing in, know that you're breathing in. Breathing out, know that you're breathing out. If practiced attentively, so much of the wisdom of the practice can be absorbed from that statement. Breathing in, know that you are breathing in. Breathing out, know that you are breathing out. the mind wanders off, that's okay. This is natural. The mind thinks just as the lungs breathe, and we don't judge our lungs for breathing. Just when we've noticed we've wandered, we return back to the breath. From the breath, opening up to the body. Scanning from the top of the head down the back of the neck, to the shoulders, down the arms, elbows, forearms, hands, fingers, fingernails. Our midsection, chest, stomach, spine, organs, bones. Down through the lower half of the body, thighs, knees, shins, calves, feet. And breathing in and out of the whole body. When you are ready, bringing to mind reflection in this space of awareness that you've created, trying to not get sucked into thought, but letting them arise. This past year, as the Zen Buddhists say, probably full of 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows. An important aspect of this practice is taking our own inventory. That our suffering or happiness is related to our relationship to the experience, not by experience itself. And so, with this practice of equanimity, looking at the places where we suffered, and craving, desire, more. In delusion, refusing to take responsibility, to look. With hatred or aversion, things that we wanted to be different. And maybe another figure appears, it's another version of you. Maybe it's a Buddha, maybe it's a mentor, some sort of benefactor. And they remind you of your responsibility. They remind you that your happiness and suffering are dependent on you. And in an effort to change your karma, you make an intention. Karma being your actions, that rule of cause and effect, that when this happens, that happens. And so through the wise understanding of non-ill will, of non-harm, an intention can be made. We'll start with the community intentions. We'll pick our community intentions.